Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we uncover the hidden stories within corporate filings. And today we're diving into a deal that has got Natera Incorporated pulling a rabbit out of its hat, or maybe even a whole laboratory. Today we're looking at Natera Incorporated's latest report, and it all centers around a big acquisition. Natera, which is a company focused on genetic testing, has just bought another company called Foresight Diagnostics Incorporated. Foresight specializes in detecting tiny amounts of cancer in patients with certain types of lymphoma. This is a pretty big deal because it expands Natera's capabilities in a critical area of cancer detection. So, Natera Incorporated snapped up Foresight Diagnostics Incorporated, a privately held cancer diagnostics company, in late 2025. Think of Foresight as a specialist in finding those super small traces of cancer DNA in the blood, which is super important for understanding how well treatments are working, especially for those cell lymphomas. Natera basically agreed to buy them through a merger. Now, how did Natera pay for this exciting new piece of their puzzle? They are issuing shares of their own stock to the people who used to own Foresight. This is a common way to buy another company, using your own stock as the currency. They are giving out over 1 million shares upfront. That is what they're calling the consideration shares. And get this, there is another chunk of shares that might be issued later. These are called potentially issuable shares, and they could add up to another 800,000 shares or so. Why so many potential shares? Well, it is tied to how well Foresight's technology performs after the deal closes. Some of these shares are held in an escrow account, meaning they're locked away and might be released based on certain conditions. Others are linked to hitting specific performance goals, like reaching certain milestones in detecting cancer, or even adjustments based on Natera's stock price after the deal. It is a way to reward the Foresight owners if the acquired business continues to do well and if Natera's stock performs as expected. One important detail here is that these shares being issued aren't being registered with the usual securities regulators right away. Instead, Natera is relying on an exemption that allows them to issue these shares without a full public offering. But don't worry, they do plan to file a special registration statement soon after, which will allow the Foresight stockholders to eventually sell these shares if they want to. And to let everyone know about this exciting news, Natera put out a press release on the 5th of December announcing this acquisition of Foresight. This press release is included with the report we're looking at, so it gives us the official words straight from the company. Now, in these types of reports, companies always include what they call forward-looking statements. This is basically them telling you to be careful because the future is uncertain. They're saying this acquisition is exciting and they have plans, but there are risks. Things like market changes, whether those milestones are actually hit, and how Natera's stock price behaves will all affect how many of those extra shares actually get handed out. It is a reminder that while this deal looks good on paper, the real results will only be known over time, and there are always unforeseen challenges in the business world. Finally, the report lists the exhibits, which are the supporting documents. The most important one here is Exhibit 99.1, which is that press release announcing the Foresight acquisition. And then there is Exhibit 104, which is the interactive data file. And of course, we have the signatures. This is the official sign off from Natera's Chief Financial Officer, Michael Brophy, confirming that this report is accurate to the best of his knowledge. It is dated the 5th of December, which makes sense right after they announced the deal. Now, looking at this acquisition, Natera Incorporated is clearly making a strategic move to bolster its cancer diagnostics offerings. By acquiring Foresight Diagnostics Incorporated, they are not just adding a technology, but a specialized laboratory and expertise in detecting minimal residual disease, which is a very hot area in oncology. This could significantly enhance their position in the market, particularly for B-cell lymphomas. The use of stock as consideration, especially with those performance-based earnouts, is an interesting strategy. It aligns the incentives of the former Foresight owners with the future success of the combined entity. However, it also introduces a degree of uncertainty regarding the total dilution Natera Incorporated's existing shareholders might face. The fact that they are relying on an exemption from registration for the initial share issuance suggests they are trying to streamline the process. But the upcoming S-3 filing will be key for enabling those shares to be traded freely. One of the biggest risks and opportunities here lies in the successful integration of Foresight's technology and team into Natera. If the milestones are met and the technology proves to be as valuable as anticipated, this could be a major win. Conversely, if the integration is rocky, or if the market for these types of diagnostics doesn't grow as expected, then the acquisition might not yield the desired returns. In conclusion, Natera Incorporated's acquisition of Foresight Diagnostics Incorporated appears to be a well-considered strategic move aimed at strengthening its market presence in advanced cancer detection. The deal structure with earn-outs introduces some complexity, but the potential upside in terms of enhanced diagnostic capabilities is significant. We'll be watching closely to see how these potentially issuable shares play out, and if the integration delivers on its promise. Alright, that is our breakdown of Natera's latest filing. What is your take on this acquisition and what it means for the future of cancer diagnostics? Let us know in the comments if you found this deep dive helpful. Please hit that like button and subscribe for more corporate insights, and don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description below for more discussions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.